afternoon, teachers. How are you? Viva Guayaquil. Okay. Oh, okay. Good afternoon. First one coming. Okay, Andrés Rodríguez, English coach, invites you to this streaming. We have a very glad presence of Miss Elizabeth Ortiz. Okay, you know her. So she has contributed to TESOL Ecuador and has awarded and received recognition for different for her job. Okay, with the TESOL and EFL teaching, in the different institutions where she has worked and collaborated. So today we have a very interesting topic, which is blended learning. Okay, so maybe we have heard many theories or webinars from blended learning, but I think today we are going to have a more clear vision, okay, about this topic. So be aware of this webinar because we are going to learn today. Elizabeth, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Andres. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's always my pleasure to be with you. I have the opportunity to share with my colleagues from all over the country. I don't know how many people are following us now, and I'm so happy, I'm so glad to see you all, guys. So questions and answers. Andres, how we are going to manage the questions and answer thing? Can the participants ask questions at any time, or should I stop a little bit or at the end of the session?
Well, so you have between 20 or 25 minutes to introduce and develop your topic. So after that, I will explain them to ask the questions in the chat, or maybe they can activate the microphone. So.
Thank you very much. I'm going to try to combine all my passions. So the first one is education for peace. That is it's a field that I've been exploring, and blended learning, in fact. So good afternoon, all of you. Welcome to this session. This is me. So I decided to include some of the websites or some links that you could use and implement in your classroom. Those are some activities that I use in my classroom. And this is me. So I'm Elizabeth, and I believe in God. If I wear a color, it would be orange. I'm proud I can do what I love. A word that describes me, kind. My favorite song, what a wonderful word. My favorite quote, I never lose. I either win or learn. It's a nice quote from Nelson Mandela. And if you can contact me at ortiz@esa.com. So you can contact me, and that is my email. So this is one of my favorite activities that I use from one interesting source, which is Big Life Journal. And the link is over there, and you can find thousands of wonderful material, some of them outsourced, some of them for free, some others that you have to pay. But from my experience, I usually use the ones that are available and open sources. And this is my avatar, and even my favorite color is orange. So I wanted to honor my daughter. So my daughter's favorite color is pink and purple, and that's why I decided to use it. And one of the websites I use, and I use them with my students, is avachara.com. That this is a nice website where our students can design their own avatar and use it for their work. And it's very exciting. So when I use this activity with my students, they enjoy it a lot because it's something they like and they had a good time. So, and as you see, in this case, I haven't included any professional or any academic background because teaching through virtual learning or online learning or remote learning or blended learning shouldn't affect the connection, that emotional connection that we have with our students. So that it's very important. So that's why that is me. So the first day of class, my students have to describe themselves by using this. So for the ones who are just around going to start classes, it's a good icebreaker activity for them. So the agenda for today, so we have the welcome that you already have it. So we have some definitions about blended learning, some models, some strategies, and of course the closing with questions and answers, if there is any. So I wanted, and I have asked Andres to allow me to share with you directly all the links, not just the pictures, but all the links with some
Yes.
ideas that I have used, and some of them that I haven't used yet, but I'm in the process of exploring them because this is a never-ending process. Hamilton, welcome. I took some of your ideas from your last session, so we'll see what happens. That is a good thing. You gave me the great connection to my topic. Thank you, Hamilton.
No problem.
Okay, so here we have some definitions about blended learning. And as you see, these are some real life pictures from teachers. This is a teacher from Puerto Viejo. Hello, Puerto Viejo. Is that see someone from Puerto Viejo connected, who is teaching his class. And this is an activity that I use with my students who are in fact in Babura. So, and I started my lessons. I always start my lessons is two things. The first one, how do you feel today? And the second question, if you could describe yourself with an adjective, what your description would be. So again, it is important to have that close connection. So that's why I do it. And I'm going to start this session with, how do you feel today? Hamilton, how do you feel today?
I feel sleepy.
Good. I don't know if, Andres, how do you feel today?
I feel so relaxed and happy that you are with us now.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So as you see, this is another way in which we can address your content, no matter if you are the way you are teaching, to know exactly how your students' emotions are in that moment. Okay, let's see. So we have some definitions, and I was very, this quote of Nick Huckley caught my attention, and he says that good teaching is good teaching, whether it is on face-to-face or online. So no matter how we teach, no matter what scenario, we have to do what we do the best. So we need to do our best and shine wherever we are, no matter if we are face-to-face, no matter if we are living this situation of teaching and remote learning, or in the way your institution asks you to work. So that is very important. Good teaching is good teaching, no matter where we are. Okay, under weird conditions or circumstances we are. Okay, so here we have this worthy. By the way, you could use, this is an interesting tool where you can use it with your students as well. Because of the time, I decided just to skip it. I was almost ready with that, but then I decided not to do it. But this is, here you will find some clue words. Let's talk about clue words that will allow us to understand what blended learning is. Okay, as you see, we have some clue words as education, of course. We have online, we have face-to-face, we have learners, the student resources, we got teachers, we got traditional environment, we got classroom interaction, skills, examples, research, differences, etc. Different kind of clue words in order to build our own definition of learning. So, and I am going to ask you right now. So there are 4 different pictures, and we have on the top left, we have a whole class with a teacher face to face, the students raising their hands. So that is one of the scenarios. Then we have on the second, at the bottom, we have group work. On the top right, we have students working on computers with someone at their back. And finally, we have a student working alone, working on his own. By the way, I want to thank the credits for Deposit Photos, which is a wonderful website, guys, that you can use to download pictures. Some of them for free, some of them, as you see, they are not for free, but I decided just to include them and thank the Deposit Photos for the pictures. So you have a good source of pictures over there that you can include in your classrooms. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures, and I would like to listen some opinions. So what kind of classroom do you see? So how would you define this classroom? All of them are face-to-face. What is the current, or what, let's change a little bit. What is the sequence? What do you think the sequence would be for this classroom?
I could see the group preferencing. Some of them work by groups of 4, the total class, or individual as that boy with the that is working alone. So it could be group preferring in working.
Yeah, thank you, Dali. I would like, if you had to choose a sequence, which would be your sequence, your choice? So whole class first, the second group work, the third one. So what would be your sequence?
Yes,
for the class?
One would be the total group, then a group of 4 or 5, then individually, and finally they could like work and making a report in the computer. So it was a total and group, and then individual.
Very good, thank you. Any other opinion about this? What would be your sequence?
It depends on the type of instruction. For example, if you want to teach with blending learning, you need to start with the last student. He is browsing, or he is taking notes by yourself. He's learning independently.
Okay, you could start with the student in isolation. Very good. The second, your second, what would be your second one?
The second one? Maybe, the second one, maybe this picture, where they are in front of their computers, and then they share some, or maybe go to the whole class, and after that they can compare their learning.
Very good, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is, believe it or not, a sequence of what is called the blended learning model in a traditional classroom learning. So then we have on the first one, as you see, we have the whole classroom, and in the face-to-face interaction is where we use all the equipment available in the classroom. We use PowerPoint, we use whiteboards, we use whatever we call technology, but under a face-to-face environment. So then what we have is a computer lab, or the learning. So it's a computer lab where the students do their practice. And then we send some homework to the students at home, and they respond online to different ways. And they bring that information again to the face-to-face whole class interaction. So this is what usually happens in what it is called the traditional classroom learning, but it's not our reality right now. So it means that we need to adapt this traditional classroom learning into another model. And then we have that the definition for blended learning is that it's an instructional methodology, teaching and learning approach that combines face-to-face classroom methods with computer-mediated activities to deliver instruction. So, and it was very interesting because I read around 2 weeks ago, I forgot to take notes of the source, so sorry for that. But I was reading a research, and the author stated something like, he can predict, this person predict that online learning, virtual education would be a total failure. And this research was conducted in 2000, believe it, 21st century, in 2008. And then it was another researcher, and I read also another research from a Spanish researcher in education, and he said that the 21st century started in 2020. The 21st century really started in 2020. And that made me think about my teaching, about the way we have been pushed to teach in the way we teach now. And then this is what we got about blended learning. So we say that in teaching and learning, what the student is doing, and we say that teaching and learning is what the student is doing and where the student is. What the teacher is doing and what the teacher is. And what and where the content is. So, and I'm in Guayaquil. So Hamilton, are you in Ibarra? Okay, Dali, where are you now?
I'm in Chordele, it's close to Cuenca.
Maxima, where are you? Your mic is off.
Sorry, I'm in Loja.
You're in Loja, so you see.
Loja.
So we four are in different cities. I'm here in Guayaquil, and the content is wherever we want the content to be.
Exactly.
Okay, and that is the huge change that we are living right now. So, and this is not new in fact. So blended learning, so we start talking about blended learning at the end of 20th century, but now we are living a different reality. So as you see, that is the difference of teaching and learning nowadays. So let's see. So we said that blended learning always involves tech integration, but tech integration is not always synonymous of blended learning.
Totally
And in blended
agree.
learning classroom, students have some control over learning pace, place, and path. So that's what the Horn Stake mentioned. So, and this is important, which is the role of technology or tech integration in our classrooms, as you see. So it's not only about technology. So 2 different environments, but we have the content, we have a teacher, we have students, we have wonderful students learning and teaching under different conditions. Okay. And as I said, not all about technology. So we need to change the way we teach. We need to change the way we learn. We need to change the methodology we use. We need to change the way we organize our classes. And as always, we need to focus on the student, on the student center. And as it says, we need to promote personalized learning. So in other words, as always, teachers just made magic. We make things happen in the classroom, no matter what. So, and this is very interesting because this requires from the teacher to respond to some questions. So my first question for my colleague would be, are you flexible for this new change? Are you being flexible for this new change? Are you being innovator in this new change? Are you committed? Are you a mindset teacher? Are you aware of your role nowadays? And do you value the training from your colleagues or the information that you receive from your colleagues. I would say that in the case of the teachers who are here right now, I would say that that is a big yes, because you are here. So it's Saturday afternoon. We can do any other stuff, but we are here, spending some time together and exchanging and sharing information and giving opinions about common topics. So, and this is something that we need to answer ourselves when we in this new process. So for most of us, it's not new at all. Some teachers have more or are more experienced in teaching online on their virtual environments. Okay, so in this model of learning stations is one of the models suggested for blended learning. What we see in blended learning now is that we use a lot of breakout rooms. And the idea is that in the whole class, so we set a problem or we set a situation or we provide or we introduce the topic, and then we divide our classroom into breakout rooms, into smaller groups with some problem solving activities to do. So remember that the content in terms of instruction in here is not just a mere transmission of grammar or vocabulary or skills in isolation. So the learning instruction has to be meaningful. And the best way to use it, believe it or not, and through breaking groups, working under cooperative learning activities or strategies. So in this case, we provide the students different kind of tasks, different time of questions, different time of problems to solve. They become experts, and then they keep moving from different stations, getting information, collecting information, and learning from others. One interesting thing in here is that the teacher monitors the activity of the learning station. However, he is in one place over here because this is the place where the students come for validation or to share, or they look for more information, or they come for extra guidance. So, and then they have different resources and different ways. This is one of my favorite activities. I'm trying to, as I told you before, some of the activities I'm presenting today, some of them I have used it in my classroom. Some others are in the process of being applied in the classroom, and some others are learned from other colleagues. And even yesterday we had a meeting with colleagues, and they share wonderful websites and apps, and they share the best practices of what they're doing. And then I decided to replicate and include some of those ideas into this session. That is our role. So learning from others and sharing what we know or what we are in the process of knowing. Okay, so since we have to make decisions in this blended learning process, it's the level of synchronous learning. So what is going to be the content in the synchronous learning? So to be meaningful, there are some aspects that we need to consider. So include problem-solving activities, including teaching skills in context, and include also teamwork or group work activities under problem-solving aspects. So then we have asynchronous learning. So we also need to decide, are we going to use ready-made materials, or are we going to create our own material? So as you see, in terms of materials, we have our pros and our cons. And one of the cons is that not all the ready-made material fits our specific students' needs. And on the other hand, creating our own material sometimes could be time-consuming, because we have two things to learn: how to manage the app or how to manage the website, and then the design itself of the activity. Another decision that we need to consider as well is what kind of the use of multimedia. So we know and we understand that here there are two things that might happen. So the first one, that we are not that familiar with the use of some apps, or we are not techno-savvy as our students are. And on the other hand, so we also find students who are not, believe it or not, even they are millennials or they come from the Z generation, they are not, they don't manage technology as well as we believe they should. So we also need to decide how to record video lessons. We need to record our video lessons, and we had to learn how to look nice in the video lesson and how to avoid a lot of disruption and how to try to video record our classes. And also we need to learn how to use the learning management systems platforms, and some are ready-made again, and some others like Moodle or Google Classroom or Edmodo or some other learning management systems that we need to create our contents from scratch. And also the way in which we are going to stay in touch with our students. So as you see, it's a lot to process, a lot to design, and we need to work together in collaboration in order to make it work and not die while we try. Okay, so I'm going to share right now some ideas. For this, I am going to stop sharing from my slide, and I'm going to share with you some websites that might be helpful for you. And let me see. Okay. Oops. Okay. I'll be there. I'll be there. Very close. Very close. Okay, so if we see over here, now in this virtual environment, we see a lot of applications, a lot of websites, and we don't know what to do on this way to select the appropriate thing. So this is my first recommendation. I don't know if you are familiar with App Matcher, but it is a very, very useful app. And it's up to you what you want to do. If you want to assess your students, if you want to create a content, or if you want to encourage a students' collaboration. Let's imagine that the first thing is that you want to create a content, and then you have this set of apps that you could use in order to choose the best one that applies to your classroom setting. So here you have the filters. You have to choose if it's for any grade, elementary, middle, high, what device your students are going to connect, what is the experience level, beginner, intermediate, advanced. So, and this is App Matcher. This is for free. So you see a lot of possible apps that you could use. If you want to encourage students' collaboration, here we have Canvas discussion, Google Slides. We have Padlet, which is one of the most popular right now. But this is a very, very useful app. I really like it. And of course, if you want to assess your students, you also have this repertoire of possibilities. We have quizzes for the ones who like quizzes. You have Socrative, which is another one, and Google Forms, Kahoot, Nearpod, which is it's becoming little by little more popular. I'm exploring Nearpod right now. In fact, we have Padlet. All of these websites are useful for assessment. So you just click on it and you can find, this is an app matcher. I really like this one. I don't know if you have, could I read them, the chats? Yeah, okay. Very good. Good. Okay, so this is one of the ones that we could use. Another favorite, as I told you, is Nearpod. So Nearpod, the one wonderful thing about Nearpod is you could use any of these ones. So there are so free and available resources you could use and adapt to your lessons because the Nearpods are already done. But if you want to do your own, so they are available if your Nearpod has a high standard based on their standards, so they can be there all the time. So any other teacher from all over the world can use the Nearpod. So, and this is also a wonderful one, wonderful tool. And it's not only for English and language arts, but math, science, social studies, and some other subjects that you might be teaching right now. Okay, let me see. We have one of my latest is the writingexercise.com. This is one page that I've been using a lot this week, and this is a prompt generator. This is for writing. And you can choose, for example, a story title. Okay, and then you have a lot of ideas, and the students, they decide what is their favorite topic to write, and they write a short story. So this is one of my favorite. My students, they are having fun, most of them at least. And then they have the plot generator over here, and they choose the main characters, the secondary character, the setting, the situation, etc. And they deal all together with the activity, the writing, so itself, the story. So this is very, very interesting. If your goal is to encourage the students to write short stories, so this could be helpful at the beginning. So they also have the random first line in here, and they can generate the first line, how to start their story if they had no clue how to start their story. So, and this is one very, very interesting. Another one that it's, that I'm using, I am a TED Talk lover. I really love TED Talk. Everything that is connected to TED Talk. So TED Talk in TEDx, you can subscribe and you will receive every day activities like this. So you have the video in here, and you have to watch the video. You have multiple choice and open answers, activities to think and reflect about the video. If you want the students to dig deeper into the topic, you have some other activities. If you want them to discuss, and you can also customize the lesson if you want to. And there are some other activities. For example, if you are using CLIL in your classroom or any problem solving activity, you could ask the students to watch the video, to complete the information, and in small groups, they could talk, they could discuss, and then also could solve some problems or difficulties. Then we have for writing, and then for reading, thank you to my colleague Luis Camacho. So he shared with me this website to explore reading In fact, so readingworks.org, so you can choose different kind of reading material based on what the students levels and interests. So you can also include a lot of reading on this page, which is very, very interesting. And of course, you can also use a Jamboard from Google. So in this case, you can, for example, this is a, okay, let me see. In this one, you can encourage collaboration. It's a Jamboard where you can ask the students to brainstorm ideas. So in the notes over here, so you can include different kind of like post-its. It's very, very similar to it. So the students, they can contribute with their thoughts and ideas in the classroom. So, and for listening and with the ones who love singing, so I don't know if you're familiar with this one. This is one of the famous. This is one activity in which the students have to listen to the song and they just fill in the blanks with the activity, and they can work through a link. So you send the students to the link over there, so they have access to the song. They listen to the song, they fill in the blanks, they repeat, they go back and forth at their own pace. So they repeat the song the times they want, and then at the end you will receive, as you see, a score, how many rides, how many rounds, and etc. It's like a competition among the students. So, and these are some of the, there is also this page, mix.com. It's a site where you can find authentic material. In some of them, in some of the topics you will find in there, so there are some audios that you could use for listening as listening comprehension activities, or you could use authentic material from different topics. You choose the topics you are interested on based on your interest and based on your students' interest. And this is a nice, an excellent way to get authentic sources and authentic material. So it's, as you see over here, so you only have to register. This is for free. And then you have access to most of the pages, most of the links over there are available, somewhat extend available with no cost at all. So let me see. Okay, so let's go back to this. One thing that we need to remember in this process of implementing blended learning using asynchronous or asynchronous learning are the challenges that we as educators we need to face now. So now we have the skills 21 in the context of COVID-19, and we have identified based on the UNESCO Sustainable Development Goals, and this is the Inter-American Development Bank analysis, in which they said that they made a list of challenges faced by the students. What are the programs or the proposed solutions, or what are the skills that we need to help the students to develop in this context of COVID-19? So we are aware that this is not something that is going to stop, not today, not tomorrow, we don't know when. And the important thing is that we need to find the ways and the tools in order to help our students and do what we do the best. So, and also a nice page, something that I really like, is inspiring slides. That is another thing that you can find inspirational quotes from different people. And that was Barack Obama said about change. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time to do it. So I encourage you this afternoon to embrace that change and do the best we can do in the classroom in order to help and support our students. And always remember that you are not alone, so you are part of a huge community or educators willing to support each other in this path to blended learning, or online learning, virtual education, remote learning, or any kind of learning that you are doing here. And I want to thank Andrés for the invitation. Andrés, thank you so much for this opportunity. My second passion is Mafalda. I'm a huge fan of Mafalda. That is why Mafalda is always there at the end of my presentations, because just as Mafalda, I have a dream, and my dream is that everybody would live in total peace. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Andrés.
Well, so teachers right now, so you are able to ask questions in the chat, or maybe you can ask by activating your microphone. So, well, anyway.
Is Elizabeth still there?
Hey, Glenda.
Hi, Elizabeth. Nice to hear you. Excellent presentation.
Thank you very much, darling. So happy to see you too.
Yes, it's been a while. I have a question. In your setting, in your place where you're teaching in this distance learning, what is the one of these apps that you be using? The students absolutely love it, and they feel encouraged or motivated to continue without stopping. I know that they have different ways to handle this distance learning. Some of them work at their own pace. Some of them are working all together at the same time. What is your experience in teaching with this different methods that they're using?
Well, let me tell you that the university where I work, I only see my students in the face-to-face environment. I just see them 2 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
So since the very beginning, I decided to implement blended learning and flipped classroom strategies in order to increase the English time they have. So to allow them to get more and more connected with English. So that happened to me 2 years ago. So my students were familiar with some of the activities that we do now in this virtual environment. So now it's exactly those 2 hours a week. However, what I do is that in those 2 hours, I have in synchronous lesson, I use all of these websites that I just show you,
Mm-hmm.
and in order to allow them to produce and practice the language.
Mm-hmm.
So since they have in advance the study guide where they have in advance as a flip component, so they know in advance and they have to come prepared to the class and ready to produce in the classroom. So, and they produce through different kind of reading or writing activities or speaking activities. So that is, and what they say, because I always monitor them, so they say that they have fun in my class, and they say they miss me. I believe them.
I believe it.
I know that too.
I believe it.
I believe it. That's for sure. No, I miss them too. But one thing, Glenda, one thing that it's important again is the to not forget the emotions and feelings. So the students know that I am there for them. Mm-hmm. So and they know that that's part of the emotional connection is not lost in spite of this virtuality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. And how often you have with the students? How often do you have like task activities or things that they have to turn in? How often in these 2 hours a week? Do they have to turn in any kind of task activity? And if you have a lot of students, how do you manage to not be overloaded with a lot of work to give them feedback, or is it platform compatible with your grading system?
You know, since I copy and paste the link, so the students, they have the link available all the time. So when, if I work in Google Forms or Google Doc, the link is available for them. So if they have some difficulties with connections, with internet connections, or sometimes they have to share the same mobile for 2 or 3 people, using one only device for the whole family. So I leave that window open all the time. So they can do the task. They can do the task whenever they can.
Never at their own pace.
Yeah, because that's another thing. The level of stress is so high, not just for us as teachers, it's for the students as well. So, and as when I show you my PowerPoint, so I left the skills 21 thing, focus on emotions and resilience and everything, because that is something that we need to include in our content. So no matter in which setting we are teaching right now, but I think that it's something that we need to work with, and I try to include one emotional activity or one activity connected to emotions in my classes.
Yeah, to get to know what they're going through. The most challenging for me was to assess the students, because I consider at the end of the school year a little bit and not so fair to assess the students when excellent students suddenly start losing the track that they used to have in class, because some of them have to take care of little kids at home. You never know what environment, what situation they're going through. That is a kind of hard for us to be a little bit more accurate with their grades, and we're still working on this situation, because everyone is living different situation at home. But to me, from my personal opinion, I would say that the best way to do it under the conditions we are teaching now, it's under performance assessment, so project based. So project something using portfolios, using portfolios as the students to collect their work, see them how they produce. There was a project in which they had to video record what do they have for breakfast, something simple. What do you have for breakfast? Simple. And they had to something simple, and they had to video record. Yeah, and they could even do it with their cell phones and just upload it into the drive. Easy, easy like that, simple like that. And some of them have to work at midnight. Some of them have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to meet the deadlines. Absolutely. And the first thing that you had at the beginning, I didn't get the chance to answer, is the first picture is to find out how much the students know already, because some of them are post beginner. Some of them had already had some previous knowledge. We have to find out how much the students know to start our content of the course. The second picture was research a little bit with a computer. Review research. They have access to all these apps to learn pronunciation and vocabulary. The third picture was cooperative learning, to put all the ideas together. And the fourth picture was to make a report of all the findings. Excellent. I love that picture that you showed at the beginning. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, have a nice day and enjoy your weekend. Thank you for the invite, and again, I'm so proud of you, Elizabeth. You have always done excellent presentation.
Thank you very much, Glenda. So happy to see you. So happy to see you.
Yeah. Me too. So do I.
Y viva Guayaquil.
Viva Guayaquil.
Andrés, in your hands.
Yeah, sure. We can clap, so we say we move here. So teachers, anyway, so you have any questions you can ask, or you can text, no, write a text in the chat, no? Well, Elizabeth, I've got I make a comment about this, no? I remember in the place where I used to work, it was a pilot project about blended learning, no? It they don't make a final decision about to use blended learning. It was a year ago, no? Although we've got the idea in the English department and we know how to work, and we use some research, no, in order to determine how many students, the way they learn, and also the most important is the technology, no? If they have the technology, the resources they have, no, in order to work with this blended learning. So it is said that we have to be very flexible, no, with some students, particularly now, no, that we are living in this difficult time, no. So, what do you think, Elizabeth, is the most important in the blended learning session in order to determine it is a success or is it a failure? I mean, okay, let me be more simple in my question. How do you know? I refer to the what are the factors that we have to observe in order to determine it is a success or not?
The first one, I would say clear objectives and organization. So that is the first thing. If you know in advance what you want to get from the students will know exactly what you expect from them. That is one of the things. The second thing is working in collaboration. So working together as a team, believe it or not, helps a lot. Not only to lower the level of stress, but also the work. Sometimes, and what I have seen in some organizations, in some institutions, that things don't happen because the teachers think, oh, more work, more things to do. And sometimes it's because we refuse, I would say, or we reject a little bit the idea of working in collaboration. I'm sure that if every teacher takes one part of the project, so that will work wonderfully. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much, Elizabeth. So teachers, in this at the end, so you make a question or you maybe have something to say. Let us know. So
Can I ask a question, Andres?
Sure, Hamilton. Let's go.
Okay. Elizabeth, congratulations. It's a really nice topic. I think there is a lot that we can learn from blended learning, especially now.
Yeah.
So my question is, right now, because we are doing this remote learning, does that mean that we are doing blended learning or not necessarily?
I would say that sooner or later we go into that way, Hamilton, because we started with remote learning, I think, because of the conditions. I think it was from one day to another, and we weren't ready. So I could say that only few, I would say that few institutions, because they've been working with that for some time, so they might say they were ready for this. So, but I'm sure that little by little, teachers are going to get more knowledge, more experience, so they are going to learn from what they did right or wrong, and they will do their best. So I would say that little by little we'll go to that way. So, and but of course, as I also said, so there is a variety and too much information on the web, and I think that we need to be wise enough, not only to wise and humble, in fact, to choose whatever is useful for our students based on their needs, and also to be aware that we belong to a community of English language teachers, and we are not alone. So I'm sure that if I call Hamilton for some help, so he wouldn't say no, mm-hmm. and the same. So, and that is the beauty of our profession. So it's the generosity in which we share our experience. So, and I would say that that is one of the positive aspects of this. I have learned some of the some of the from some of the websites that I show you, and experiencing with them from my colleagues, and even from my daughter, and from my daughter's teacher. And you know, we use our own strategies in order to not stay behind this process. Okay, I don't know, Hamilton. I would say that this is not going to stop here and now. And after this, I don't think so.
And what do you think is going to happen when, if eventually, you know, the coronavirus ends and they find a vaccine or a cure, and then we have to go back to face-to-face? I mean, it's difficult to predict what is going to happen, but I like to know, what do you think might happen possibly in the case that we had to go back to normal, no, to face-to-face with education in that case? No.
What would happen is that we will be stronger than before.
Okay.
And we will be ready to face, after this, we are ready to face whatever comes in our profession. So no fear anymore about technology, no fear about whatever comes, because we were ready. We will be ready. I mean, I will say we will be ready. Let me change that. Let me restate it. I think we will be more risk takers than before.
Okay. We'll see that.
I totally agree with you, Elizabeth, especially in your last part of your comment, when you said that we English teachers, well, teachers in general, we are risk takers. Because of the fact that we have involved in this situation, so we have to learn different applications at home, okay, for teaching our students. No, we need to know different programs, how to create like design, I don't know. So I feel admiration to see my colleagues when they have their different YouTube channels, or when they feel proud and they present, okay, I did it, okay, I'm doing this with my students. So I said, wow, so what a wonderful thing we are able to do it. So I think this pandemic time has also challenged us, and we have to see the positive side. No? So in the positive side, we have taken advantage, and we have learned we are better than before.
Definitely, definitely.
So teachers, well, in this part, I would say thank you so much for coming to this streaming. I think this would be very useful, and we all learn a different thing from blended learning. So I hope to see you next time. Next Saturday, you know, 5 p.m. and we are going to start with another topic. I will let you know in the chat group, or will invite you. Thanks, Elizabeth. It's an honor that you stay with us. So everybody.
Thank you. I would like the picture, our last picture with the heart in our screen, because that will remind us that we belong to one of the most wonderful professions in the world.
Okay.
Okay, Andres, so you take a picture.
Okay, I'm gonna take a picture. Okay, give me a second, please. All right.
Thank you.
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
My heart is still here.
Yeah, okay. Okay, say 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. See you. Bye. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye. Thank you. See you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Hamilton, nice to see you. Deli, Maxima, Esperanza, Emma, Tito, how are you? Angie, Piedad, Mario, Adriana, Isabel, Monica, Fanny.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All of you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you for your support. Thank you, Miss Elizabeth.
Thank you, Emma.
Have a great
Thanks,
week.
Elizabeth.
Mario.
Thank you, Angie.
Good presentation. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Angie. See you.